Just a quick warning, what you're about to see is about 40 minutes of completely unscripted yapping about my first impressions on Europa Universalis 5. If you want to hear an opinion of somebody who has 4,000 hours in Europa Universalis 4, please go on and listen to it. And if you like it, please subscribe. It just takes a second to press the little subscribe button under this video. It will help me a lot. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to a bit of an impromptu video. Today I will be talking about my first impressions with Europa Universalis 5. I did not have any preview access copy or anything like that, so my experience with the game has pretty much stemmed entirely from playing it after I bought it from release, just like everyone else has, I believe. The music is very beautiful, by the way. I like it a lot. For so far, at least. But that actually transpires the entire game, to be fair. But yeah. I have over 4,000 hours in Europa Universalis 4, and I can say with certainty that this game is the most feature-complete Paradox game on release. And what do I mean by that? Personally, though, I will preface this by saying that this is all first impressions, and after I actually play like a few hundred hours on the game, my opinion might change. But so far, I have very, very good feelings about this. This game might be one of the best Paradox games on release in previous years. We have been burned by Victoria 3 on release. We have been burned by Crusader Kings 3, although that game has been improved with DLC and patches as far as I'm aware. However, in regards to Paradox games being released and their quality on release, this game might be the best one they have made so far, actually. I remember playing Europa Universalis 4 on release, and that was very, very bare bones, especially compared to this. First, I would like to have a look at the map and point out several things on the map. First of all, the tutorializing of the game has vastly improved since EU4, thankfully. We don't have a dedicated tutorial, but whatever country you start with, if you pick a recommended country, you get a choice of several recommended countries, which is very good because a lot of different countries will have different starting positions and different things to cope with. And the game does a very good job at actually teaching you different things about different aspects of the game. But another reason why this game is very, very new player friendly, if you have not played EU4 or any other grand strategy game before and you're always interested in trying it out, EU5 might be the ideal game for you as well. And what do I mean by that? There's a lot of automation in the game, and that is a good thing because you can pick and choose which aspects of the game to automate at your leisure. If you don't understand how economy works, you can automate either parts of the economy or the entirety of it. I would not recommend automating the entirety of the game personally if you're trying to learn, but if you're trying to learn only specific aspects and don't want to focus on learning anything else, that is still an option that is available to you. And I think that is wonderful. It is a great thing for the game's accessibility because not everybody can play grand strategy games. But yeah, while I was yapping, the game map actually loaded in. We're starting the game in 1337, and a lot of nations are available. This map is massive, as was advertised in various dev diaries and whatnot. We have nations like the Ashikaga Shogunate, lots of regions, and once again, this is first impressions. I have not touched any of these areas. I don't know how good, how much flavor these countries have, but if you are curious, you can always click on a nation and you will have these icons in the top of your selected nation that will show you how much content there is currently available. So we can see that Great Yuan has 95 dynamic historical events and 31 unique advances, laws, reforms, and units. Likewise, clicking on other nations, what I do like is that pretty much almost every part of the world has their own unique content. So Korea has some unique content, not a lot, but there is some. These guys don't have any. Japan has very few, actually. I was expecting them to have more, but they have 55 dynamic historical events. India has a bunch of bonuses and events. Even people like Khmer Empire have events and unique modifiers. I mean, what am I even talking about? Cahokia. Even Cahokia has 22 dynamic historic events. We have natives with dynamic historic events. We have the Aztecs, which currently have no content, it looks like. Unlucky for them. But yeah, of course, majority of content currently available in the game is centered around Europe. It's kind of in the name. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Obviously, if you're a new player, you just pick one of the recommended countries. But if you're a more seasoned player, you will notice that actually pretty much every major has content, especially some like France, England, Castile, the Ottomans, even the Byzantines have pretty decent amount of content, considering that they have about 100 years historically to live. My baby Eastern Rome. I will definitely be playing as Eastern Rome as my next campaign. I'm currently playing as Poland as my first campaign, but Eastern Roman Empire. I have to bring Rome back. Obviously, this is my mission on Earth. I have to bring back. I have to bring back Roman Empire. So I will be doing that. Muscovy, which obviously forms Russia later, will have its own events and country bonuses. We have Novgorod. Golden Horde does not have a lot of content for it, but I feel like it is kind of not meant to, even though it is a very resilient nation still. It stays pretty powerful for quite a while still after the games start. Close the selected country tab. So yeah, a lot of nations have content for them, and you can have fun as pretty much like everyone, anybody that you pick. Italian miners, a lot of nations in HRE will probably not have a lot of content for them, but some people do. Like Mainz apparently has some. Obviously, Brandenburg will have a lot of content. Yeah, so there is a lot for many nations, which is good. I was expecting there to be a lot less content, personally. I will be completely honest with you guys. I've expected this game to be pretty bare bones, but no. Unlike Crusader Kings 3 on release, many nations actually have their flavor represented quite well. They have their own government things going for them. There are a lot of new mechanics as well. I will load my Poland save and actually show what I mean by that. A lot of stuff. So because this game works vastly different compared to EU4, a lot of the features that were present in that game have been transferred differently, so to speak. For example, since there's no more mana system, there's no more but there's a lot of buttons that are missing that were present in EU4, like developing provinces. However, since we are now operating on a completely different population system, you actually have a lot, and I mean a lot, of things to play with. This game, to me personally, feels like a natural development, like a masterpiece of previous Paradox releases, which is Imperator Rome, Victoria 3, Crusader Kings 3. All of these games provide this game with a lot of stepping stones and building blocks that are now present in EU5. A lot of these systems are very in-depth. Estates from EU4 are here. There is more estates. There are more privileges you have to work with. Some of these are unique for my country, obviously. For example, Pacta Conventa is unique for Poland. Statutes of Nieszawa are unique for Poland. But even without them, you will still have a lot of them. There are very, very neat just design decisions that I really like. For example, I think it's really cool that your new reforms and law changes don't get implemented instantly. You have to wait for them to get implemented, and you can actually influence this implementation speed by improving your legislative efficiency. There are a ton of different country modifiers like that you can influence in a lot of varying ways. You have your parliament. I believe every country has a parliament now, regardless of if they are a republic or not, which is interesting, and it's a bit more historical because in a lot of countries you had, but maybe not particularly parliaments, but definitely council sessions and the like. So representatives from different estates would actually do like petition the rulers and whatnot. I like the parliament system a lot. It is a unique, it adds more depth, and that is very cool. And that's a lot of things. There's a lot of depth in this game, which is, once again, in my opinion, very cool for release. At least that's my first impression about it. Once again, I'm going to repeat myself. Everything I say is only my first impression after having played the game for about, let me check, for about 10 to 20 hours. So obviously, like my Steam shows 22 and a half hours, but a lot of that time was spent AFK, having the game in the background while I was doing other stuff, leaving it on paused, reading and stuff like that. So I haven't actually played the game for 22 and a half hours. I guess I played the game for like 10 to 15, which is really, really nothing. It's only barely enough for a first impressions video, but I don't have the time to wait anymore to record this video, so I'm doing it now. By the way, if you're on this channel, if you're still listening, if you're watching, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave a comment, like this video. It really helps a lot. But yeah, we have estates, parliament, you have the cabinet. You, like in CK3, you have to actually assign cabinet members to do different things. You have to pay them salaries. You have characters in your court that you can run out of, actually. You can tell your cabinet members to do a lot of different things that will that they will be either good or bad at, depending on their skill. Every character in the game now has, instead of well, they still have mana skill, right? So we had admin, diplo, and military skill in EU4, but instead of generating mana, they now affect efficiency of your cabinet. As the ruler, your cabinet of ministers is the way your leverage on the country. So that's how we are influencing our country with it. You have laws. There are tons and tons of laws. One of the features that I really, really liked in CK2 in particular is the amount of laws you could influence and change in your country. And in EU5, there are so many. You can change so much in your country. It is really cool. A lot of these things are tech locked, which we'll talk about in a bit. Values. Values are here to replace ideas, the national ideas. I haven't played too long with the system yet to really taste it. It feels like centralization is basically always better than decentralization, which all it does is give you loyalty and the state satisfaction equilibrium, and that is really, really a nothing burger. Centralization is always better than decentralization. That is the only issue I currently have with this mechanic. is that perhaps there should be a little more value in possibly decentralized countries. But even though it says, well, a decentralized country is more resilient, it literally makes your counter espionage worse. I don't know how. Traditionalist, innovative, spiritualist, humanist, aristocracy, plutocracy. You will gain good things out of all of them, regardless of which path you take. So it is all dependent on your play style, and that is really, really nice. I really like this mechanic a lot so far. I don't know how much I will like it later on, but so far I like it a lot. We have missions. This is your tutorialization. I like this tutorialization quite a bit. I don't like the fact that you have to turn it on in the game rules. It is not turned on by default. I also don't like that it disables achievements. That is the only gripe I have with missions so far. Economy. It works completely different compared to EU4. There are only like traces of it left. Like you're still making tax income, trade income. There's no more production income, thank God, which was a very nebulous thing already. Like the difference between production and tax in EU4 is basically extremely ahistorical. There was no such thing as production income in real history. We only have actual tax income, and that is represented very well here. You have minting, you have taxing. You can tax your estates, and all of this is done with sliders. You can automate everything if you'd like. You can, which is what I do here. I automate the taxation. I don't think I would like to keep moving these sliders up and down, but if you're the kind of person who wants to move sliders around, you can move sliders around. Minting, trade income, diplomacy, payments. There's a lot of other things in here that we just don't see because they're currently not affecting our country, but you can see that the economy is actually very deeply involved, and I do like that. I like that a lot. It's a vast improvement over EU4 in that regard. But yeah, I manage my balance personally, but you can, once again, automate if you are scared of this. If you're like, if you don't like numbers, if math makes you scared, feel free to automate the balance. Just like how I automate trading. One thing I absolutely despised in playing Imperator Rome is having to constantly having to manage your trade. Like it was a lot of busy work establishing the trade routes. Here you can automate that. If you don't like some aspect of the game, you can just automate it. Maybe in the future I will decide to do my trading manually, but for now I automate it because it's still a very complicated game even when you automate stuff. Production, once again, you can automate everything. I don't think I don't think I actually need to automate the RGO construction anymore, so I'm going to disable that. But yeah, if you're scared of building buildings, you can automate that. If you're scared of building RGOs, you can automate that. By the way, this system is also pretty in-depth and also works entirely different from EU4. I'm not going to go in-depth about it, but just see how much is there in this game already on release. Just seeing that makes me incredibly happy, because that makes me think that there's so much to build already. There is such a strong foundation on this game to build on, with more content, more DLC, adding more flavor, more systems, more buildings, more interesting tools to work with, that I just can't see how this game can fail in the future. I think it's amazing what they've done here. Yeah, you can manage everything. This is basically Victoria 3. You basically have Victoria 3 entirely in EU5. This is like, I don't know. I don't see a reason why would I ever play Victoria 3 again, because it basically exists here now. Society, you have, once again, a lot more complicated. You have you have representations of your cultures. By the way, I like the map modes adjusting and shifting to highlight various parts of your country when you're hovering over stuff. It's very good design decision. Um, the culture system is also more in depth than EU4's. You still have an accepted culture capacity, kind of like EU4's max tolerated cultures, but it works differently now. Smaller cultures, or cultures that you have a lot of cultural opinion with, are cheaper for you to have accepted. And that is really cool, because if you have antagonized some culture, I don't know, somehow, it's much harder for you to actually accept it, which makes a lot of sense. It makes so much sense. I like that so much. You have works of art, which haven't even touched. I don't even know how this system works. I haven't even touched this yet. What does this mean? Artistic skill? I don't understand what this means. I'm assuming that this is good. But how exactly does it work? I have no clue. And once again, you can automate your cultural acceptance if you so choose. It is all very modular. For example, maybe I should accept something. Let's see. Can I accept anything? I have about half. This is tolerated. Discriminated culture. I can tolerate Prothenian culture. It makes me go a little bit over the cultural capacity, but honestly, this doesn't really affect me that much, so I'm going to keep it like this. These are our artists. Apparently, I have artists in my country, and they are working on things. Sure. Sure, I don't know how to do this. Maybe I should take some time and study this. You have religion. Honestly, Catholicism looks like it's very bad to me, but maybe other religions are more interesting. So far, I didn't really have anything to do with religion, but once again, you have so many different modifiers: religious unity, conversion rate, holy sites, cardinals, tolerance. Just like in EU4, you have tolerance modifiers. You have country modifiers from being Catholic. Like Catholics will actually vote on these things, and they will provide with different modifiers, like for the whole religion. This is for the entire religion. So this Dei Gratia Rex affects the satisfaction equilibrium of clergy in my country because I'm Catholic. That's very cool. I like that a lot. This is a very in-depth system still, even though there's not much to interact with for Catholics. People, you can just look at every single pop in your country if you so choose. You can check their literacy, their migration rates. I currently have a lot of migration because I'm trying to figure out what works. I want to encourage migration to Krakow because I have a lot of control over Krakow and the surrounding areas. So I'm thinking that maybe this will help me produce more money, put more people to work in my buildings. That probably would help me. Diplomacy. Diplomacy is so much more involved than in basically every like in previous game and in every other Paradox game I've seen. This is so much more involved than before. This is amazing. You have the hegemon system: economic, diplomatic, cultural, naval, and military. There are 5 hegemons now. Your subject interactions are a lot more involved. You can now create subjects out of any province from the start of the game. You don't have to wait until client states are researched. You can open a list of subjects at any time and manage their loyalty. By the way, high loyalty is good now. So this is not disloyalty. This is loyalty. You want to keep the number high. So, for example, Vitebsk doesn't like me. I can, take various actions if I had diplomats. The amount of diplomats, the diplomats work differently now. You have to actually build them up as a resource and invest. If you want more diplomats, you have to spend more on your diplomatic core, which is really cool. You can check your relations here. This list, I still don't quite understand it at a glance. But it's just an experience thing. If I take more time, I will figure it out. You have international organizations, which is a really cool mechanic. The Catholic Church, you can see who are all the military orders in it. You can see where all the cardinals are for the Catholic Church. You can see all the bishoprics and military orders. You can see how much you're paying, I believe, somewhere here as well. I'm not sure. I can't really read this interface as well yet. So yeah, there's so much available here. There's so much depth, as I was saying. Doctrines, bulls, saints, holy sites, members. Your personal unions are also now organizations. You know, it's no longer just a glorified subject. No, 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 no. This is a whole international organization with its own set of laws that you can change. And there's actually a benefit now to keeping your personal union going, because if other members, if other nations fall under your personal union, they will join it already with all these laws passed, and you will benefit from them from the get-go without having to pass them again, without having to wait for them again. Obviously, you can still just simply integrate your junior partner. You can actually overtake seniority now in a union. If you're the junior partner of a personal union, you can take it over if you gain more great power score compared to your senior partner and flip the union on its head. It's so much depth available. There's military. Militaries work much different now. It's more like CKA when you have levies, and that's a lot more historical because we didn't have regular armies back in the day. We had to rely on levies, and actually we still had to rely on levies almost all the way up to the Napoleonic era. And even then, military drafting for war conscription is still basically you raising levies. It's just called differently. But you have regular troops as well. See, they start becoming more available over time. Like now I can have more regulars available to me. There's more expected regular army now that we have the Age of Discovery. With each subsequent age, you have more expected regulars compared to levies. And once again, you can just select objectives for your armies. You can automate your armies if you so choose. Navies are also a lot more involved. There's different ship types. There is different modifiers you can have. Forts. You have a fort limit now, which you can increase. You have a whole tab dedicated for colonization and exploration alone. Colonies, provinces, exploration. I don't know how this works. Maritime stuff. You have a whole mechanic for controlling your maritime provinces, expanding your influence over the seas, fighting against pirates. Diseases get their own separate tab. It's no longer just an event that says, oh, you have a bad modifier in a province. No, 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 no. You have an actual diseases. The bubonic plague, it happens. Like, if you can see, you can look at this chart and you'll see that in fact I did have a bubonic plague, taking half my country with it effectively. 533,000 people died from it. Advances. No longer it's just admin tech, diplo tech, and military tech. You have actual tech trees, like in more modern Paradox games. And these tech trees are divided into different ages. You unlock them over time. You have to embrace institutions as well to even gain access to a lot of these technologies. Like, for example, I still don't have meritocracy somehow. And I therefore don't have access to that advances tree. I don't understand how we don't have meritocracy, by the way. It's just not spreading, apparently. Yeah. We don't have it anywhere in Europe, actually. No one in Europe has meritocracy. It's available in China, I believe, though. We have institutions of Pike and Shot, institutions of New World. A lot new institutions are available. Literacy now directly affects the speed of your research, instead of just you spending mana on new technologies. It's so cool. I love this. It's so involved. The building slot system is gone, which I absolutely hated. We now have a more Wiki 3 involved system with workers, actual populations having to be employed in the buildings that you build. Stability is a resource that you have to invest in and increase. Same with legitimacy. Population, I already talked about this. Just basically, this game has so much depth already on release. This game just came out like 2 days ago. Yeah, sure, it's buggy. Yeah, sure, not everything works. But the fact that there is so much in it already, and it all, like, still kind of works. They've released a hotfix that fixed a lot of the issues already. The ledger is there for you to provide information. You can find anything you want. There is a whole to like Wikipedia in the game. You can click on a lot of these different. You can check what all of the casus belli are, for example, if you're curious about that. Automation. So you guys actually can't see it because I'm in the way. Let me move myself a little. Okay. So automation. Look, you can automate. You can choose which aspects of your country you want to automate. And most importantly, you can finally automate replacing generals. EU4 it was such a hassle replacing your generals manually. Not anymore. You can now manually replace them, your generals and admirals. If you want, you can have the game recruit your army and navy for you, or colonize for you, and explore for you. Any aspect of the game that you don't necessarily like, you can just let the game micromanage, or you can manage it yourself. The game will provide you alerts when you need to pay attention to something in your country, unless you have automated it, in which case you won't even see these notifications at all. Pick production methods. Like, I don't know which production methods are good or bad. When should I switch to them? I'll let the game handle that. I'll let the game handle trade because I already mentioned I don't want to bother with that from Imperator Rome. Subsidizing buildings, closing and opening buildings, just like in Wiki 3. There is a lot in this game. You can bring back the agenda. Every time you load the game, you will be greeted by this agenda screen, which will provide you with some relevant hints if you need it. You can also turn it off. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like, what else? You have control groups, by the way, now. Just like in a strategy game, you can click on anything and have you can click on a province, for example, and turn it into a shortcut. Look, now there's a shortcut for this province. Empty control group, yes. You can have a shortcut for your international organization, like for a Polish union. The game will create these automatically for you. I didn't create these. There's a lot of map modes. Look at how many map modes there are available. There's so many map modes. There is a find a map mode button. That's impressive. And obviously you can pin whichever map modes that you prefer looking at. And all of these alerts as well are very useful. I don't think I've seen an alert that has not been like useful to me. Out of these yellow ones, perhaps maybe some, like buildings missing inputs, like, yeah, I can't really do anything about this. I'll have to build more buildings later, but not right now. I don't have the money. But, there's still useful hints for you. And once again, if you have automated anything, you will not see it. So that's what I mean by saying that currently, in my opinion, this game is the most feature-complete Paradox release to date. Like, hands down. It has so much content in it for you, you will be able to sink in a lot of time, I feel. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to sink in a lot of hours into this game and see if, after a while, my opinion this changes. But for now, I think this is a solid foundation. Unlike my first impressions from playing other games like Victoria 3 or Crusader Kings 3, I didn't feel very good about these games. I feel very good about this one. I think I haven't even talked about what kind of different units you can have. Like, the military has received a huge overhaul. I don't know what the good army composition is. Battles no longer happen the same way. For example, if you fight someone, if you fight somebody, you actually have like a field here, and you have flanks, 3 different flanks, just like in, for example, Crusader Kings. You would have flanks available. You'll see all the reserves and regulars in real time. It's so amazing. There's so much to dig into. And there's, once again, elements of automation. If you want to, you can choose, like, all right, if you're done controlling this army, for example, or you don't want to control it for now, you just want it to do something automatically for you, like carpet sieging or focus sieging. There's different types of sieging, by the way. If I click here, there's many different objectives. Perform army logistics. Assigned armies will gather and distribute food, because you have to worry about food for your armies, of course. Exiled armies will be transported back to home soil with the help of assigned navies. Suppressing rebels. You can automatically suppress unrest in locations with rebellious pops. Hunt enemy armies. Defending home territories. If you just want to stay home and defend. If you want to like leave an army at home to defend against any stragglers, and focus on another area and not come back and suddenly find half your nation occupied. Defending your coasts. Carpet sieging, focus sieging, which are different. Carpet sieging splits armies, focus sieging keeps armies concentrated. It's so awesome. There's a lot of tools at hand for you to feel to just enjoy the game, no matter what level you are, no matter what you like or dislike. And I think that this can only be improved. Now, time will tell, but so far, that's been my opinion about the game so far. I duly recommend it already. If you're a fan of EU4, I believe there is a lot of things that you will enjoy in this game as well. Obviously, this is a much slower game in a lot of regards compared to EU4, because in EU4, you could be like, you could just conquer things, right? If you give me 100 years, if you give me Poland in EU4 and 100 years, all of this is conquered, right? Like you would not leave anything standing here in 100 years. But in this game, you have to be a lot slower. You have to take things more carefully. So you gotta keep that in mind. But I think that this is an incredible foundation, and I can only recommend this game. But once again, keep in mind that this is all first impressions. First impressions, maybe things will change. Hopefully, I will see you in the future. I'm going to finish recording this video, then eat, and then prepare for my stream. I'm going to be streaming this game live on Twitch and YouTube. If you want to join any of my streams, feel free to press the subscribe button and join my Discord server. Link in the description. But yeah, see ya.